Hello folks, well we're back in the shop again. I got another order to fill. Today I got to make a plaque. So I figured I'd do a run through of how I take a photograph and turn it into a vector for laser engraving. I'm going to start with a free program called GIMP. I'm going to start off with this picture of a truck that I took a good while back. I've already removed the color because you don't need the color when you're turning things into a vector. And then I'm just going to start removing the background, because in this case all I want is the truck. I'm just going to run through this process really quickly. After I get all the background removed, I'm going to use this burn tool to darken the edges. All I want really is just the edge defined here just a little bit to separate it from the white background. I'm going to give it a little more contrast to bring some detail through, but that's okay. You can actually use this contrast tool to completely white out the image, and you can just play around with the contrast tool till you get the desired result. Then I use this cartoon tool to define the edges a little more. And you just move your sliders around. You have to play with it. It'll be different for any image you put in here. It will add a lot of noise to the image, but we can remove that after we get it vectorized. In this time I'm going to use Lightburn, but I would usually use Inkscape, which is another free program. But I'm just going to save this. I'm going to overwrite the original, and I'm going to bring it into Lightburn. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to hit the trace. I'm going to move our sliders around till I get a little more detail. Then I'm going to ungroup the whole vector so I can start removing some of this noise. It depends on how you want it to look, but you can choose one of those smaller dots, and you can click Tools, and then you can click Select All Objects Smaller Than Selected, and delete everything at one time. And if it deletes too much, you can always Control Z to back it out. To get everything set, I'm going to regroup them. I'm going to draw out a toolpath here to outline the size of my oak plank. In this case, I'm making a 6x9. I always forget to click the select tool. Just going to lay this out the way I want it to show up on the plaque. We'll type out our message here and then choose a font. These dates here was just a placeholder till I could get the actual dates put in. These dates here was just a placeholder till I could get the actual dates to put in. I always do a mock-up of the file and I get an approval from the customer before I burn the plaque. Just going through here and picking a decent looking font. There's the piece of oak I started out with. I cut a keyhole slot in the back and I quarter rounded the front. Then I gave it a clear coat. I actually ran this one off on the 5-watt diode laser. It took a little while, but it put a nice black mark on the plaque, and I did not have to paint fill it. After I got the engraving done, I wiped it down with a damp cloth and I gave it another coat of clear to finish it off. And that's how quickly you can turn a photograph into a vector. So come back next week and see what else is going on in the shop. This was just a short video to show how I take a photograph and turn it into a vector so I can laser engrave it. So come on back next week and see what else I got going on in the shop.